Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we're back with another recording of Hearthstone. Today is Wednesday, March 7th, and we've got some stuff to do. Definitely stuff to do. Apparently on the Asian account I don't have anything I can trade, which really stinks because I don't have anything that overlaps either. So we're staring at 2 victories with the Paladin or Warrior, or 2 victories with Druid and Rogue, and 3 Hunter victories, none of which are the 60 or higher gold quests that I prefer to have. We've got a Tavern Brawl here, maybe it will do something nice for us. Shadow at Blackrock Mountain. 2 epic boxes at Blackrock Mountain are settling things once and for all with your help. And we'll get a classic pack, which on the Asian account works rather well. Unfortunately, it seems like we can't pick who we're going to play as, so unless the boss is technically a mage or technically a hunter, I guess hunter would be what we're going for, I'm not sure if any of these victories would count towards the daily quest. Which just, now I realize, means that there's a lot more to do. There's a lot of stuff to do today, isn't it? All spells cost 3 less. I think I'll hold on to that one. Let's see. Cyan right now is posting, I believe, the first lines of the monologue at the beginning of Mist. And that'll turn out to be interesting. What does this one do? Adds a random spell from any class, and it costs 0. Heck, let's do that. And then end the turn. Which, that would be fine if Cyan is doing that. But it is filling up my Twitter feed. And still very much suffering from a lack of what does this guy do? Your hero power becomes deal 8 damage randomly. This summons a 5/1/1. Yeah, a lot of things. A lot of things on my Twitter feed these days ever since I started looking at every video game. I'm not sure if I can stick with it. But one of the things I have resolved to do is not talk too much about non-video game things, which will help. So, like, even though I am going to continue to follow TechSpot, I'm going to make a concerted effort to not next dragon you play costs 2 less. Well, that would make this 2. How about we do this instead? And an attack. So yeah, tech news that's not directly related to video games I'm going to start skipping. However, YouTube news still is going to be a factor, and so they've started rolling out the impressions, the click-through rate on impressions, and I believe there was one other metric that impressions, inflation, click-through rate, and unique viewers are the 3 metrics. And they're put in this triangle, upside down triangle funnel analogy, which is pretty accurate. Here, do that, and do that, and do that, and then do this, and attack, attack, attack. I'm still trying to figure out a way to also easily put a web page on the screen where people can see it without also having to accidentally show some important like secret information, some login or password or account name. Like I can do it pretty well if it's the only thing I'm doing, but the switching back, it's not as simple as just dragging it from one screen to the other, which is kind of what I would like it to be. But sadly it doesn't work that way. The upside down funnel on impressions is you get a large amount of impressions, they equal a much smaller amount of views. In the example being shown here, 1.9 million impressions equals, in this example, 176,000 views, which then equals the smaller number of 455.6 thousand watch time in minutes. And I don't know why they keep marking things in watch time. So an impression is counted when a viewer on YouTube sees one of your video thumbnails. Impressions tell the potential reach of your content to YouTube, since each impression is an opportunity to earn a view, which that seems sort of typical. That's what you would normally have. In a case like this is they do have a picture here saying if you see the entire thumbnail, it counts as an impression. However, if you're just seeing a portion of a thumbnail, so it's important to note that impressions only reflects impressions generated by your thumbnails on YouTube, including thumbnails on the home page, subscription feed, search, and up next. Impression click-through rate, which shows you the percentage of impressions on YouTube that turned into views. That click-through rate will always be very low. And unique viewers show the estimated number of different people who watch your videos over a period of time, whether they watch on desktop, mobile phone, or watched more than one of your videos. That person counts as one unique viewer. And see, that for my channel might be a very, very low number. Unfortunately, this is all in beta, and the studio beta that I am in did not roll out these new options for me. But I would definitely want to keep an eye on impressions and see how many times my YouTube video thumbnails are being shown to people. I assume the number is kind of high. And it's because I have a moderately poor amount of like I just have a poor level. So that means attack to 3. There we go. We'll do that. At the start of a turn, summon a legendary minion. Oh no, that's not what I meant to attack with. I meant to attack with this. Well, this will be interesting. For my own service, my own experience on YouTube, I see a lot of thumbnails. I get a lot of impressions for my own channel, which is good. I personally don't click through and watch a lot of my videos. I'm going to start changing that a little bit because it helps to listen to my own videos and try and improve. even though I don't have a ton of time to do things like that. But B, I really suspect that I've got hit. Oh man, I thought it was gonna work differently. I really suspect if I start every viewing session, which is to say, if I haven't been watching YouTube for, let's just pick a randomly large enough number of 30 minutes. If I go to YouTube, immediately find one of my videos on my feed, watch that, not even really have to watch it all the way through, just watch it, and then and after that point move on to the other things, the other videos I want to watch. I believe that helps my channel. I think that increases watch time. I could be wrong, and they could have changed how watch time works, but at one point that was it. That if somebody watched your channel, your videos first in a session, and then they went on to watch hours and hours and hours of other people's footage, that benefits your channel and your video more than it benefits the last video in that session that you watch. I think that's the case. So I'm gonna encourage other people to do the same, even if it just boils down to you clicking on a video and then immediately clicking off of a video. Let's see, change attack equal to health. There we go. PC Gamer has an article, is it worth cutting out Steam to sell indie games directly? We spoke with the creators of 1 Hour Life, 1 Hour 1 Life, Spy Party, and Overland about cutting out the middleman. On May 14th, 2011, only one game was released on Steam, Jason Rogers' tactical shoot Inside the Star-Filled Sky. It was on the Steam front page for 5 days, he tells me. Releasing game back then on Steam meant you instantly have an audience. I had all these new players that had never even heard of it before. But things have changed a lot since then, certainly. Now, as I'm personally looking at all the games that come out for Steam, there is a considerable well, a very high number of people that are releasing games to no audience whatsoever. So Roy, last week, as 83 games came to Steam, Roya released his multiplayer survival sim 1 Hour 1 Life through his own public website. And oh yeah, we've seen some information. He's no stranger to direct sales. Only 2 of his 90 games he has made are on Steam, and the other independent developers tell me they're keen on it too. What's the draw? Let's just scroll here. I can send an email to everybody with a Mac build and say, sorry about this problem, I'm an idiot, here's what you know how to fix. The biggest thing you get is a direct relationship with your customer. What are they talking about? Going through Steam or not going through Steam? I played incorrectly here. The most obvious benefit to direct sales is developers don't have to pay a cut to a third party. Sky Party creator Chris Hacker explains he's been selling the long-awaited one-on-one espionage game, blah blah blah, though is planning to send it to Steam Early Access soon. Valve will take a 30% of any sales he makes on the platform compared to the 2.9% and change that PayPal takes when he sells the game himself. That's a significant benefit of direct sales, but not the biggest. The biggest is the direct relationship with the customer. The direct relationship always allows Hacker to cultivate more intimate, friendly community and they will give advice to newbies. Here's the problem with this idea. If you're a small indie developer who plans only to sell 1,000 copies at most of your game, having a direct relationship and being able to directly contact people and email them sounds like a good idea, but I personally wouldn't want to receive a direct email from a video game creator, because then I'd get direct email advertisements from all of them. And I assume Steam does probably have a way to contact people if there was a real emergency. But mostly it's just update feeds and automatic updates, and the forum on Steam that they try to get you to go through. So whatever they think here, where they think it's a benefit for a game creator to have direct communication with the people who bought the game, no, not really. And micromanaging your game to the point where you're upset because somebody canceled or refunded, or you're trying to work on one-on-one and polish your game and do quality assurance on your game doesn't sound like an experience I would really want. And that's why I'm kind of happy that a lot of indie games and small itch.io games are not part of the Steam experience, or they're hidden. I've probably lost here. No quote here is obviously we love the idea of having our own everything, but there's a lot of weird overheads that maybe aren't obvious to people right away. Yeah, there's tons of overhead that Steam is doing. The itch.io compromise is probably a good thought too. Wow. Well, let's do this. Cost 1 less for each damage your hero has taken. Will you shut up? 2020. Here's at the end of this article. It's clear players are willing to flock to well-made games that aren't available in any of the stores they're used to buying from. Just look at the runaway success of Fortnite. So as Steam became ever more saturated, it's not impossible to imagine more indies might try to tap into that and go alone. First of all, Fortnite's creator is not an indie company. Fortnite's creator, I believe, is Epic Games. And they're making things with a major engine that a lot of other people are using, including PUBG. And the only reason people are flocking to Fortnite now, because they really weren't doing it, is because Fortnite stole PUBG's idea and PUBG is so popular. PUBG, by the way, being the best-selling game, I believe, now on Steam. If not one of the best, the best. I said that phrase completely backwards. So that's an exception that would prove the rule that's not even really an exception, because it's not a small indie thing. I absolutely will not flock to play a good game if it's not on Steam, personally. And I don't feel like I'm too awed into that way. While I do have a massive amount of games on Steam, it's pretty average, I think, compared to a lot of people who have been buying games for Steam for many more years than I have. Having a collection of games you're never going to play on Steam is pretty typical, it seems. And no, I won't flock to EA Origin to play games on EA Origin. So much so that I kind of forgot that I kind of didn't even get the message that Battlefront and potentially other Star Wars games may exist on EA Origin, and that's why the latest Star Wars game I can find on Steam is The Force Unleashed 2, which is a LucasArts game. I won't go to the Bethesda launcher to play Fallout. I was not happy about getting The Witcher 3 on Good Old Games and having that not really be on any launcher at all. Gain control of a menu with 2 or less attack. I can't use that, which is a shame, because then I could do that and do a combo. So I just fundamentally disagree with the idea that indies are going to drag people to websites. Some small amount of people certainly, but not a significant amount. On the other hand, what do you do if you're an indie developer? Best you can do is make a good game, give it to as many YouTube streamers and people similar to that, as many influencers, I guess is the phrase I should use, as you can. Try and get it out there. Try to get people to write articles about your game. If it's a really good game and it's unique and not boring, people will see it. If it's a piece of junk asset flip, or if it's just an RPG Maker game, or a or you know, just low quality art style, I don't think that's gonna work. And see, in this article, each one of these indie games doesn't look interesting just from the face of it. One of them is pixel art, one of them is hand-drawn art style, and one of them is a 3D computer model art, but it looks like it's from at least 6 or 7 years ago. Gain control of an enemy is 2 or less this turn. Destroy friendly menu and attack all attack damage. Let's grab this first. Return this to life with 1. This will be an interesting move. Do this, and then this, and then this. Is he now mine forever? Wow. I just stole your card, bro. Interesting. Interesting move. So yeah, none of those indie games interest me, even when you're writing an article about them, let alone would I ever decide to discover a spell, Let's see, 15. I'll do that. Spell damage increase, I suppose. In the turn. Moving on, PC Gamer has an article, Bomberman inspired action game Bomb Slinger blast out of early access next month. Let's watch this trailer. See, these trailers are the things I'd like to be able to just drag over here and put in like a window somewhere, I guess over here. Or maybe we could squeeze it down this way. Yeah, this game looks like a not as nicely animated Bomberman game compared to the last iterants of some mobile Bomberman game I've probably seen. Start with this. Shuffle 5 secrets into your deck. I'll do that. And then I'll do that. And then I'll end the turn. What can you say? It's a Bomberman inspired game, except for you're playing as Western people instead of robots. It's currently $12. And even this article is pretty small. Of the 16 reviewers, it's 93% positive. So I guess I'll wishlist it. It would be a game I could probably do a spotlight on. It does have single player. It is an early access, so anything early access in my wishlist would be filtered out when I look at the sales. So, but not enough mana. What in the world did they do? How did he kill all of my guys? He flamed me and then somehow... I ended up with this guy. I don't know how that happened. Rock Paper Shotgun has an article, has Starbound been improved by its updates? And I saw this tweeted out differently, so that they said because of Starbound's new updates, it's actually a much friendlier game to new players. What is this? What is going on? I can't even read this text. It looks like it's about to explode. Let's see. Wild magic. Add a random spell from any class. Let's see. Living bomb. Choose an enemy. If it lives to next turn, deal 5 damage to all enemies. Okay. Let's see what they're doing here. So taunt +2. Not really necessary. Let's go ahead and hit this. And do this. And do this. And then this. What? Oh, that was a worthless card. So yeah, this feels like a rock paper shotgun article just promoting Starbound for no reason. Like, maybe Starbound is a little bit more friendly, but it is still this 2D version of Minecraft that I'm not super interested in. It just doesn't look as good as Minecraft, and that's saying a lot. And let's see, change a minion's attack to 1. We don't really need to do that. So I guess I'll just hit this. Next dragon you play costs 2 less. Let's see if that... Wait, change your minions attack to 1. Let's see what happens there. Let's do that. Let's do that. And I think that will work just fine. Trudging Master says, Bomber man, you would think that it is never ends as the levels just keep going and going. Once you get to level 100, you think ending must be awesome. 1 frame, thanks for playing. Yeah, I've never played all the way to the end of Bomberman. I barely ever touched any of Bomberman. But Bomberman certainly feels like a game designed to be played against other people, probably an arcade more than a home single player experience. So that's part of the reason why I probably won't get what Bomb Slinger is. It's just not something that strikes me as one of those games that I actually want to play. Even if it is good, it's just may not be for me. Let's see. In the same way, Starbound is, even though I know it's probably good, it's probably not for me. I have gotten back into watching some Minecraft. The Skyblock updated mod. There's a new mod called, a relatively new mod called Modern Skyblock 3. And Departed is the subtitle. That's attempt number 2 to win this, and we're not making any progress at all. And Modern Skyblock always is a Minecraft mod that adds a ton of things and gets so far away from what basic vanilla Minecraft is. But since I'm watching Minecraft again, it seems about once a year and a half or once a year I get back into watching Minecraft. I ran across one of my old videos of doing captive Minecraft, and then I went and checked to see if they maybe had made another captive Minecraft, and they hadn't, which was kind of a shame. But you know, in all fairness, every single one of the captive Minecrafts did not run right, and the creator seemed to not be willing to admit that to himself. Like people were streaming his video showing instances where commands and tricks were just not happening, and he was like, well, you must have broken it doing this, or you must have broken it doing that. And I'm like, I tried to follow the instructions. But there is a reason for there to be a new captive Minecraft. There's a number of additions have been added since the last captive Minecraft game. A lot of elements, a lot of underwater elements. It's kind of a shame that the previous captive Minecraft was set underwater, because now the current one could do it. You can also change the achievements now in Minecraft, which means now they don't have to build a 5th version of captive Minecraft where you're just going down the basic achievements, which are kind of boring and not as well connected. So if the Farlanders, the creators of the captive Minecraft series, do make another one, I probably take some extra effort to play that. There's also been some massive improvements on what you can do now. So elevators now work. I recall spending a considerable amount of time trying to develop an elevator in an older version of Minecraft and not really succeeding. But I don't think I'd redo and reset my my Minecraft server, which may be still running right now, but I don't think I'd try to get on that and make a new world and start over from scratch again or anything like that. I've got too many games now, and while Minecraft would be free and mods for Minecraft usually are free, Minecraft now has crossed from the point of being something that's very appealing to fans and very good to stream on Twitch and YouTube to now it's really only a niche thing, and I would have to justify playing it from my own desire, not from a views perspective, and it's hard to make that justification when there's so many other games to play. Let's see, holding a dragon, gain +1/+1, deal 3 damage to a minion, draw more cards, summon 3 web spinners. That won't work quite yet, so let's see. Moving on to the next article, PC Gamer has a article titled International Game Developers Association, the IGDA, not to be confused with the Entertainment Software Alliance, the ESA, which is more of an American lobbyist group, have come out and said, quote, quote, will not be used as a scapegoat, quote, end quote, for real world violence. The International Game Developers Association drew a clear line in the sand on Twitter. Geez, when you have to quote mine a Twitter thing for your title, you've probably failed at some point. What do we want to do here? If we do this, and then this, and then this, and this, and this, and that. Let's see, the full Twitter here, at least the first part of it says, I guess I need to follow this group on Twitter. By the way, I don't. 1/ let's be blunt on video games and gun violence. We will not be used as a scapegoat. The facts are very clear. No study has shown a causal relationship between playing video games and gun violence. So that's pretty much it. Meanwhile, there's a editorial opinion piece on CNN that was just total garbage, that Jim Sterling goes into much more detail about, just calling video games murder training programs and some other things, and just being ridiculous. Why? I don't know what to even say there. It's like, why this editorial piece was written, why was it allowed to go out on CNN, seems a little crazy. Like, I guess at some low level in let's do this. Like at some low level, the idea to get rid of video games as competition to CNN's TV and CNN's parent company TV offerings still exist, and still is enough of a desire that they would basically run an attack piece to both A, get views on their website, and B, get people away from video games, playing video games, or watching Let's Players or other reporters that are reporting through things like YouTube. That's kind of the only reason, because it goes against CNN's bigger, obvious agenda of being against everything Donald Trump is for. And in this instance, the NRA and Donald Trump seem to be very much for the idea of blaming video games instead of any of the actual issues, whether they're mental health issues, rampant ability and access to guns for people who shouldn't have them. The lawyers for the family of the Parkland shooter, I just saw on the news today, the lawyer is saying that the parents who adopted this the Parkland shooter after his mother died, and that probably is the start of his mental problems, but if not, a great exacerbator of it, making it worse, that they were responsible gun owners. No, they're literally the definition of not responsible gun owners. They had guns in the house with somebody who had had the sheriff called out on him dozens of times, somebody who had already made threats, somebody who had already gotten in trouble, somebody who they knew had mental problems. They had guns in the house. They had guns he could access. Like, that's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous claim. Anyways, I'm not going to get into a rant there about the Parkland shooting. But let's see if we can see. Wow, there's more tweets here, all the way up to 7. Let's see. 2, the Supreme Court has clearly established video games are protected free speech in Brown versus Entertainment Merchants Association. 3, the stereotype of games as disaffected teenage boys is simply untrue. 41% of the 150 plus million gamers in the United States are women, and more women play over 35 play video games than boys under 18. That's an interesting statistic to look at. 4, the United States plays the same video games as the rest of the world, but we're unique in our problem. But we are, interesting that they include themselves since they're an International Game Association, unique in our problem with gun violence. 5, gamers come from all walks of life. We're all genders, all ages. We're teachers and students, parents and children. Ooh, legendary. I was about to say, come on, legendary. Ooh, epic, too. What a great card pack. An epic Molten Giant, which we may have needed that. And Azeroth. Oh, Illidan Stormwind. So, which of those are going to get turned into dust? Just 2 commons. And 6, overwhelmingly, we are law-abiding. Let's see, I had to turn my head to type in the phrase new on this. Overwhelmingly, we're law-abiding citizens who agree with the majority of Americans who support reasonable gun control measures like stronger background checks, banning bump stocks, and high-capacity magazines, and a minimum purchase age for 21 for all firearms. So, this was new. And this was new. And that's new. And that's new. That was a really good card pack. 7, making video games or any form of media a scapegoat for consistently refusing to even consider the reasonable, rational firearm restrictions Americans want and deserve isn't fooling anyone. So, quite a long speech there by the International Games Development, and that was posted 5 hours ago, and they haven't tweeted anything else since. So we got a epic and a legendary, and that almost makes up for the fact that it's been 45 minutes and we haven't made any progress at all today. So I think we're gonna have to go a little long here. So let's see if we can get 1 or 2 hunter victories before we end this recording. Ranked play, custom hunter. Hope that is a good hunter deck. Otherwise we could play Secret Beast, and we might do Secret Beast since that's a named deck at least. PC Gamer has an article, watch a streamer who beats super hard games using a DDR pad. I think I probably will watch this later. He is not using a DDR pad, however. He is using a full-on DDR arcade machine in his house. His living room, it seems, because there's a couch next to it. And that is a big machine. And it certainly would make the experience a little bit sturdier, I guess is the phrase I'm looking for. If you were using a DDR pad, like the old NES jump pad, it would probably break down pretty quickly, where the DDR arcade machine was designed with some sturdy steel and metal. The video I'm watching right now, he's playing like Super Mario 64 and several other games. Of course, that's not really video game news as much as video game player news. Which that's kind of a segment that doesn't need to be reported on by me. Honestly, there's a lot of interesting people out there who can do a lot of things. The guy goes by the name Peking Boo. So that's PeeKingboo, one word. So you might want to check him out, but also let's take it from the fact that that he's just a streamer. So now I've hit a point where I've got a lot of... I'm going to go through several games that I just saw were new. A lot of games came out yesterday because games typically come out on Tuesday. Not any real AAA games though. And in fact, some of the AA games even are just kind of sneaking out with a little fanfare. Senran Kagura Peach Beach Splash, for instance, came out today or yesterday. So I'm looking at this game. It is labeled an action adventure indie with gore and violence, or the tag violent. It's called Silenced colon the house. It's got a brownish sepia look to it, and I don't know if it's like a point and click adventure. It seems like it might be, but it's not being labeled as that. It doesn't have a point and click adventure element. It's developed by Graven Visual Novels, but it's also not being labeled as a visual novel. Interesting. It has many different endings, and there are no reviews of it. So I'm gonna click on this developer. It's like the only game that's been made either. So I'm just gonna wishlist this, but this is the problem right now. This came out March 8th, 2018. I'm gonna start wishlisting a lot of games that shouldn't be wishlisted. Almost certainly. Let's kill this. We're going for victories. looking at new games, that's going to happen a lot. Oculus Rift headsets are all offline, or they were all knocked offline because of an expired security SSL certificate, I would assume. It says expired certificate, and I'm just assuming that's some kind of network encoding certificate. Let's see. Let's not play that. Let's instead play this. Oculus has acknowledged the problem and they're working on fixing it. It's hardly PSN or Xbox Live going down if all Oculus Rift stop working. Because there's just such a small number of people that have Oculus Rifts. So, yeah, it's interesting, and it shows a lack of competency that people wouldn't know when certificates were going to expire and fix that before the case happens. There's probably more to the story than what they're saying, I would guess. Moving on, however, PC Gamer has an article. Devil May Cry HD is now available for Twitch Prime subscribers. However, frame rate bugs are showing up for some players, and it's the first part of the Devil May Cry HD collection, which is going to be out next week. Now I suppose there will never be a better time to play Devil May Cry 1 in HD, except for with this release. There is, I guess, technically going to be a better time, which will be in a few weeks when they hopefully patch whatever is the problem with the frame rate. Just put Divine Shield on this guy. And I don't know what I want to do. Kill this guy and save myself some health, I suppose. Yeah, so once that gets patched and once that fixes frame rates would be a real problem in a game like Devil May Cry. You don't want that game to run poorly. And since I have Twitch Prime, I will claim the game, but I won't install it because it will be through the Twitch launcher, and I'll still want it on Steam if I actually do play it, which is greedy of me, but also just a necessity to keep things organized. Guess I could have played this. Let's see. Play a secret to upgrade. Why? They killed my other guy. Alright. So I guess I kind of have to kill this person. Just to try and get a hit towards the face. They definitely shouldn't have released any version of Devil May Cry HD with any frame rate bugs. But we do see a decent number of Japanese companies make re-releases and put out poor quality re-releases. We've seen it with Secret of Mana, we've seen it with Chrono Trigger, we're now seeing it potentially with Devil May Cry HD. It seems like it just very consistently is part of their plan, or just people who are in charge of re-releasing these games don't care, and they're not the original creators of the game, so So what does it matter to them? Well, if I survive next turn... If I survive next turn, I think I might have this in the bag. Moving on, Gamer Sutra has an article that the PopCap founder has helped form a tabletop studio called Forbidden Games. So, PopCap co-founder and chief game designer Jason Kapalaka is getting into the board game business. Let's see. He's Kapalaka spent 14 years at the Bejeweled and Plants vs. Zombie developer before leaving in 2014. So it's kind of not video game related now. It's just somebody that used to work in the video game industry is making a tabletop gaming help founding a tabletop game. Well, let's try this out our Hunter deck. I think we're gonna probably go both into a post show and not into a post show. I guess I don't know where I am on my roadmap here. I have a ton of tabs open, but I also feel like I'm going to run out of things to say, how can I feel both ways? Maybe I've subconsciously finally found a way to both make myself anxious when there's too much news to talk about and not enough Hearthstone to play, and anxious when there's too much Hearthstone to play and not enough news to talk about. I've hit that happy middle in which I can't be happy no matter what. I think I may have done that actually, subconsciously. Something came up. It's not very video game related, but it is interesting YouTube wise. Turns out that the sister of the CEO of YouTube, Susan Wojcicki, she's the founder of 23andMe, which is a little weird. Two famous people from families running giant companies, but maybe not. It may just be a lot of where you're born and how lucky you are and who do you know and who are your friends. On the other hand, it is also worth pointing out, though, I've seen a lot of promoted videos and a lot of videos on YouTube in general of people doing 23andMe DNA testing. And I kind of wonder, like, has there been some potential violations, potential advertisements not being disclosed there? Not even from the top of the line. It could have been the lowest level employee just trying to get in good favors with the CEO by promoting 23andMe on YouTube. Maybe I'm seeing something there that's not true too, but it does seem like there might be some collusion afoot between them. I found it very shocking, but whatever. And again, I don't want to just turn into this Susan Wojcicki hater, even though I kind of do hate her and think she's doing a horrible job for YouTube. But, you know, in Reddit, there was also an instance where they made the CEO of Reddit, they made a new CEO of Reddit or something, and everybody hated her and was viciously attacking her, maybe for good reason, maybe not. And eventually they just drove her out completely, basically lynch mob style, and I don't want to be part of a lynch mob or start one. But on the other hand, she certainly makes it easy. Like, at the very least, her tweet advertising and saying like, congratulations to her city sister who owns 23andMe. Just doing that alone probably is some kind of violation technically by the FCC and would require disclosure that it's a sponsorship or an advertisement. Because it's totally possible that you have a family member and you want to advertise their business, but you have to disclose that, allegedly, according to the FCC. Tragic Master came on here. Here's no such thing as arranged marriages anymore. Lol, right. I didn't say anything about arranged marriages. I don't know what you're talking about, Tragic Master. There absolutely are such things as arranged marriages. They happen all over the place in India. And they certainly happen within maybe not wide cultural acceptance in the United States, but they certainly do happen. They happen all over the place in the Middle East. They happen all over the place, I believe, in Africa too. So yeah, if I ever gave the impression that I thought there was no such thing as arranged marriages, I don't know where I left that impression. That is certainly not true. I might, however, make the argument that if there were some society out there where your first marriage was arranged, but marriages were not considered a lifetime thing, that they took some of the concepts of having like a marriage that you had to renew your marriage every year, every 2 years, every 4 years. There might be a better system there, honestly, to just have the awkward youth, like at 18, your parents have picked somebody you're going to live with and go to college with, and you're going to just learn how to be a decent human being and an adult by being married to this person, and then you're almost certainly not going to stay married to that person because you have made so many mistakes and they'll have made so many mistakes, and you'll probably just hate each other. But you'll go through that learning process. It's kind of what dating should be, but if you just expanded dating to more of a long-term thing, because dating in the United States, I feel like, is generally not long enough in the first place. Some people certainly date for 7 years before they get married, but a lot of people only date for about a year, and then they think, well, a year's long enough, and a year's not through the honeymoon period, really, to spend your entire life with. Particularly depending on your age, where a lot of things might be changing in your life. So yeah, if marriages weren't this big thing wrapped around some religious moray, let's go back to the other secret thing. I think I am going to switch over to the European account after this game. Yeah. If there was no stigma around you're on your 25th marriage, that there might be a society out there that could be created. I don't believe there is a society like that now. There's some society I know, I think it's in one of the Thousand Islands. I don't know. It's one of the it's a small island society where the women are raised to be very promiscuous and try out the boys sexually before they decide who is going to be allowed to be their husband. And it's just so built into their society that the parents build them this hut and to have quote unquote sleepovers and sleep with each other. And so the boys, the young men, are under extra pressure to prove their worth. That was an interesting, I'm gonna say, National Geographic show I saw. Let's see, Tragic Master said, no, I was talking about the people that are getting married at the top of the food chain. The right indicated sarcasm. They've got a new thing now on chats. So I think I understand Tragic now. He's talking about, like, it's possible that Susan Wojcicki's sister or parents arranged marriages so that they were related to each other when they might not have been. So she might be like a stepsister or a sister-in-law, I guess, would be, I think, what he's implying, which might be the case, and that would explain it. Yeah, they've got a new thing where you can now put dash a word and then dash in the chat and it will strike it through. And you can put it in, I think, brackets and it will make it bold. And I think you can do underscore a word, then underscore, and make it italicized. So there's some new things that they announced as far as the chat, but it's not very intuitive still. Let's see. Moving on though, because I was kind of just getting off topic, which I don't really mind getting off topic. Some of my best content, in my opinion, has been when I've gotten off on crazy topics. But it's not what I'm trying to accomplish right now. Certainly I want to get through all this video game news so I actually know it myself. PC Gamer has an article. Battlerite kicks off its first competitive season with a new champion. Let's watch this trailer so I know what Battlerite is. What is Battlerite? What is Battlerite? Arena Brawler Battlerite out of Steam Early Access and officially free to play. So apparently it came out of Early Access. I guess that's what was the point here. I'm seeing a cartoon, kind of a poorly, cheaply animated cartoon of a couple ninjas, ninja animal creatures fighting. And they have some kind of ball that they're fighting over. Well, that video didn't tell me anything. Let's just click on the link and let's see. It's a free-to-play game, so I guess I don't really care. Alright, yeah, it's a top-down game that looks like League of Legends. I don't see any reason why anybody would play an attempt to dethrone League of Legends. Like, if people like League of Legends, they're going to play League of Legends. If people don't want to play League of Legends, then that's... people aren't going to want to play anything like that. 3 attack or 1 health. 1 health. Apparently, James Harden accidentally leaked Call of Duty Black Ops 4. Either it was a leak or product placement. He was wearing a hat, and I don't know who James Harden is. I assume it's NBA. He's a basketball player for the Houston Rockets, according to this. James the Beard Harden walking into a locker room before yesterday's game against Oklahoma City. Except for he's wearing this hat with a goldish bars. And honestly, he didn't leak anything because it's just 4 golden bars. Could be anything. It could be his new line of clothing. In fact, the gold bars are solid and filled in on his hat, whereas the image for Call of Duty 4, the gold bars are just outline gold with black in the middle, so it doesn't even really match. Also, the gold bars on his hat seem to taper to a point at the bottom, where the image that's being shown shows them flat along the bottom edge. And they also seem to be tapered inward on the logo and flat on the sides. And there's a fire effect in the background. There's smoke effects in the background of the image. None of that's on the hat. Like, this really is a stretch. I mean, it probably is a Battlefront 4, Battlefield 4, Call of Duty, Black Ops 4. Yeah, I can't even keep them all straight. Too many games that are so similar. But it really could be anything. Moving on, PC Gamer has a article, Historical Conspiracy Drama. The Council reveals its RPG roots in a new trailer. Let's watch this trailer and see what this is and if it's anything of real interest. Well, they just showed me a lady in a bustier, so they caught my attention. Council's a narrative of RPG, narrative adventure game with RPG elements. I don't suppose you could play this game like more than once. And there's George Washington. It's like this is a secret council of famous politicians and people of the time. And a murder happens in the house. So it feels a lot like Black Mirror, except for hopefully better than Black Mirror. A mystery story where you're gonna walk around and try and get clues and solve the puzzle, but I think the solution to the puzzle is going to be the same each time, so I don't know what RPG elements you could even have in a game like this. Let's say you could gain intuition. You would have to have different types of intuition for each of the people. So there's diplomat, occultist, and detective as far as your classes, and wow, there are a bunch of levels here. So it's an RPG elements that would allow you to unlock different lines of dialogue. This is intriguing. It's kind of like if you took Mass Effect and took out all the shooting parts and just had abilities always affect dialogue, or if you were to say do the similar thing, do a similar thing with Skyrim, where all of the actions are all your skills are built around the concept of dialogue. Wow, they just showed an occultist lady covered in tattoos. Yeah, every single game element here is kind of conversation and choices. Well, this has got me a little bit hyped. Unfortunately, I lose a bit of hype for the council, seeing that it's a 5-episode game that is going to come out. Let's see if it says here. March 13th. Developer Big Bad Wolf, who have not made any other game. And they're being published by Focus Home Interactive, who have not published any other game. So that's... you can't put a lot of faith in a game like this. The complete season is $26 right now with 10% off. The graphics don't look as good as they should look, but it doesn't look awful either. It does look like a single A or double A level of graphics, but the story might intrigue enough. It does have single player. Let's see. The question to really ask is, can you play this game multiple times through and get different endings? And that hasn't been proven. Full audio in English, plus interface and subtitles for French, German, Spanish, and Russian. I'm a little hyped for the council. Sadly, I'm probably getting hyped by PC Gamer, though. And what I'm not hyped for definitely is the fact that we've made no progress here. And I'm just going to move on. With the exception of getting the Tavern Brawl done, and with the fact that, I guess I didn't mention this, that my sleep schedule's been off and I've been awake a little bit later than I should. I think we may go into a silent post show and end up playing really late into the night. So I want to just move this forward and break up this recording and move on to the European account, and maybe we'll get the Tavern Brawls done today, and maybe I'll just get one thing on each account done today, and then around past the midnight point I might play off screen a lot to get other things done. That's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want to friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.